Good evening, everybody. This is CmdrAleon with Encounters. We're going to be doing our C5 next Saturday night. We moved it because of the weather. We're going to be doing the C5 live on here next Saturday night instead of Labor Day weekend. So next Saturday night, everything will be a go at the Orchard. So we're going to go live here. And we're going to hopefully have Amshai on here. We're going to go into a full interview with Amshai. We had her on last night for a little bit, but I really want to go into a lot of things here, take some notes that I need to take regarding some stuff going down with the fleet of ships that we talked about last night. Saying good to have you with us. My show that we had last night was quite long. I've got it on YouTube and also on Facebook. I got it on there this morning. All our shows are now being syndicated to the YouTube channel I have, Ashtar Command Spaceship News, which has also been added Encounters as part of that, and also on my Facebook. So if you miss a show, you can go to my YouTube and watch 3 hours or 2 hours of a show that you missed. So you won't miss anything. And we're hoping that Amshai gets on here. I'm sure she'll be tuning in on some level consciously that we're here. And we're going to get into a full discussion about the ships, the fleets of ships that have been over Russia, 6 seconds over the city of Tokyo, over military installations in the United States. We'll be getting into a lot of that stuff. So if she's on at some point, I'm hoping she'll, matter of fact, we're going to invite her to make sure she gets on here. Let's see here. So we're going to go to our thing here and see if we can find her in my friends list here. Let's see. So we should be able to get her in here. Here we go. I'm just going to make a note here. We are live, right? We are live. So she'll get the message. I'm going to bring my co-host here in a minute. Give me a second, actually, and we'll be right back. I've got to get some stuff to take notes here. And we're back here, folks, live with you on the show. This is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. And it's Labor Day weekend in the U.S. Welcome, everybody, to the show. And let me see here. UFO God, good to see you. Blessings, brother. You got a UFO God t-shirt. I'd like one of those. Yeah, I love one, man. Hope you're doing well. A lot of stuff going on up in the skies above us, UFO God. A lot of things happening here, you know. Hope everyone's doing well here. And I'm shy. I'm shy. Good evening.
Good evening, Commander.
We're doing a whole show with you tonight, strictly on everything we talked about, but more time to really get into it. I'm sure we have a lot of people here that have no idea what's been happening with the fleet of ships. And I got my pad and pen, so I'm going to make some notes here. So let's start fresh like we didn't know anything. So last night we talked about some really intense activity happening around military bases. And for everybody who's new to the show, people that have not been on the show, this is our good friend Shai. She's within the Department of Defense, and she has security clearance and contacts with people within that realm. So why don't we start from scratch? Can we, like, what are some of the things that are happening now, and what days did these things start happening? Because I want to make notes of the timing of these fleets of ships that have been over these bases.
Okay, so the original activity happened last Friday, and that was when we had first gotten. Yes.
Okay.
Here, I'll
Go
make
ahead.
sure. I don't want to go too fast, and then it
No,
just
take your
proceeded
time.
throughout
We have
the
a
day.
whole show here, so yeah, don't rush.
So after that Friday, the coming Saturday, we had two interactions in about 2.3 seconds, and I actually figured out some of the other Air Force bases that were involved. Yeah, and you're gonna like this. So not only did we have bases here, which in Hawaii and in China, which if you don't know, we're not allied with China. The only time we have communication is as a matter of national security and due to the Nuclear Authorization Act. So we had established, which we have permanent telecommunication lines with these things over these phenomena. So we were alerted after we had made contact with them after we had seen these things, and they had appeared over that base in China, and then they had moved to a base in Hawaii, and then they had moved to Holloman, which I was under the implication we had three bases, and some missile silos
Where is Holloman for people that don't know where that is?
It's a base right by Texas.
Okay, Texas. All right. And that was last Saturday or Friday?
That was Saturday.
Last Saturday. Okay, last Saturday. All right. Continue.
And then right above that, which is Kirtland Air Force Base, also had the same exact activity, the 12 diamond-shaped craft, which again, I've never seen this level of cooperation by these things ever. Then, you guessed it, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
Wright-Patterson.
Travis Air Force Base.
Travis.
And then Eglin Air Force Base.
Eglin, how do you spell that?
Glin.
Now, Wright-Patterson's in Ohio, right?
Yes.
Patterson, Ohio. And Travis where is that?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Where's Travis Air Force Base? I'm sorry. Travis Air Force Base?
That's in California.
California,
Sorry.
Okay. So the fleet of ships were over Hawaii. They were over Japan.
Yes, and
Kirtland
all
Air
for
Force
the same
Base.
amount of time as well. That's important to know.
And
Or
it's
around
2.3. Was it 2.3 seconds in each area?
2.3 to 3 seconds each time.
2.3 to 3 seconds. That's an incredibly. Those ships are really very fast.
Well, there was no movement in terms of them just flying through the air. When they were over the actual military installation, there was. But, after that, it was just them appearing rapid fire. Even major cities had gotten them. Dallas, I got confirmation of.
Yeah, let's deal with the major cities. Which cities did they appear over, and how many seconds per city?
I couldn't tell you the seconds. I just got confirmation.
Okay.
But then another one was we had activity over New York City, which was less than a second. Yeah.
And when did New York happen?
Same day. All happened in the same day. Within an
That
hour.
That was on a Saturday? Last Saturday?
Yes.
Last Saturday.
Which
and you
we had
mentioned
original
Tokyo
contact.
for 6 seconds, right?
Yes.
Okay, Tokyo. Interesting. What other cities?
Bangladesh. Yeah. Osaka. Mexico City. Delhi.
Delhi in India?
Yes.
So they're picking major cities. So what was the last one?
Major population dense. Mumbai.
Yeah.
Also India.
Mumbai. In India.
And I believe there was an interaction over Beijing as well.
Iraq, okay.
No, Beijing.
Beijing, China, the capital, the major city in China, Beijing.
Yeah.
Interesting. All this was in one day.
Yes. In under an hour.
Okay. Under an hour. Wow. 2.2 to 2.3 to 3 seconds per city.
Yeah.
And these craft, we talked about it last night, but a lot of people here might not know this. Can we recap about the potential that one of these were diamond-shaped craft, correct?
Yep, just for everybody, I'll give a quick rundown. So they had appeared by major missile installations. They had appeared over the NORAD command center. Sorry, my cat is clawing at stuff right now. Of course, the worst time.
You have a cat? Okay.
Yes, she's a baby.
We have a cat here. I'm sorry. We have Missy over here. She's laying down and being peaceful tonight. But go ahead.
Yeah, hopefully, she's listening to the UFO talk. But anyway, she's calming down. So, yeah, major missile installations, actual bases of operations in terms of the Department of Defense, where we launch satellites, missile operation command centers in Arizona. That's all I have full confirmation of. And again, I'm getting strong input about Russia as well.
So mission command centers in Arizona. The ships went over mission command centers over Arizona last Saturday?
Yes, JSOC command centers and missile control centers.
And missile control centers. I'm making notes. Interesting.
In my opinion, I don't think civilians had enough time to capture these things with their phones. I know people saw it. There had to have been.
Oh, really?
I can't possibly say that people didn't see it. I just don't think they had time enough to react.
Yeah, but it's possible people
they were luminescent.
Mumbai and all those shit. Go ahead.
They were luminescent. So like blue light aura is really the best way to describe it, was surrounding them.
The ships had a blue aura?
Yes. And it's I can't confirm this for 100%, but I got talk of them also changing color as well, and not just sticking to blue.
Color. Okay. I'm being the news person here. I'm taking notes.
You're doing a very good job.
Thank you. And down the rabbit hole, James is my co-host. Welcome, James. Good to have you with us, brother.
Hi, down the rabbit hole. He actually, I was in a debate earlier about flat Earth. Funny enough, and
I stay away from those people. I stay away from those people.
It was fun.
But then, getting back onto our focus, so we really have something happening here, folks. And for those that are new here, Shai is our contact within the DOD, a level of the DOD, and she works with a lot of people. And when she has the confidence of confirmation within those who are also in intelligence areas that want disclosure, they're working together, and that grouping of people, I think, is getting larger within the ranks of the DOD versus those that want to kind of, quell any information like this getting out. You won't see this information on CNN or any of the news channels. I guarantee you, this show's being taped. So everything we're talking about, Shai, will be on my YouTube channel and on Facebook. I've shared this information with my friend Colin Andrews. He knows Nick Pope, was the Ministry of Defense in England many years ago. I've been sharing these lives with Nick Pope and with Colin Andrews on the Facebook side. So we'll continue on with Shai, and let's continue about these ships and about these fleets that are going so quickly to all these different cities. Is there any indication where they are now? Are they still around the planet? Are they planning to?
To my knowledge, we just lost full communication. They just disappeared. Not communication, but visual. Yeah, and again, they weren't picking up on radar either. Not a single radar system. The only way we actually figured this out was, again, we have active playback on these satellites. So we got reports of them over major military installations, and thus we investigated and found that they were, again, observing. They had gotten very low in altitude, low enough to be shot by our THAAD systems, but just there was active equipment malfunction, quote unquote. I say malfunction in quote unquote. It's my idea that they were the ones responsible for that, because these are multi-million-dollar systems.
So malfunction, I'm sorry, is the malfunction of military equipment or weapons?
Radar, military equipment, and the only one that was effectively used was scalar weaponry, yes.
So they basically shut them down?
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Interesting. And they went out, the radar they disappeared off radar. They just like blinked out there, and then they don't even know where they are now.
And I know that the craft that was disabled, I'd like to call, I don't want to use the term shut down because it wasn't smoking or anything,
Yeah,
it was either over which I was not in unison with this operation. I didn't help command that. I didn't guide that or anything. I'm just going off of word of
yeah,
mouth this part. So it was
yeah.
either North Pacific Ocean that it had landed in right off the coast of California, or it was the North Atlantic up by Canada.
North Pacific or
Oh, so
Atlantic Canada.
they actually used the scalar weapon on one of the crafts?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Now, could you explain what a scalar weapon is to the common folks that might not know what that technology can do?
So scalar is a byproduct of a nuclear explosion, but it's essentially a field of element that can be used in a vector space by
Hmm.
itself. So just because it's a byproduct of nuclear energy or a nuclear combustion, rather, it doesn't mean that that's the only way to achieve that. It's again a different field of element that we're talking about.
Mm.
So it would be almost like nuclear energy, but in a different way. And that has capability to be used for heavy weaponry that can not only affect vibrations and affect tectonic plates, but also and it's been the most effective thing against these UAP, that and DEWs.
So if it wants to shoot, let's say I was in a spaceship and I had like a mothership coming down. Could that scalar weapon, is it a beam that hits it, or is it a vibration
It's
that
invisible.
throws?
It's invisible. You can't see it.
You can't see it.
No.
Wow.
So they would never know what's happening. The people on board the ship, if it got hit with that scalar weapon, they couldn't do anything about it, correct?
Yes. Well, I haven't seen it utilized many times. Like again, this was a major incident. Like I mean,
Yeah.
I want to really drive home. This is like we have never. I mean, like I said it yesterday, but like this was something completely new territory, and I know it was serious because again they were swapping people out to keep confidentiality because so much was going on because we kept getting things and commands and we would look and they were there. So and this all happened and again under an hour, so it was chaos. I mean,
The Rebel 6724, just to I didn't interrupt you. Who shot who? We shot the spaceship down. One of the ships that was it was in a grouping of other ships, correct? When we shot it down,
yes,
or was it by itself?
and
It was in a group of fleet.
We had made previous attempts and they were unsuccessful.
Oh, okay. So
this scalar weapon, they can't turn this scalar weapon off, but they can turn the other weapons off.
The only way I want to say I'm not sure because I haven't seen it actively done. I've seen it with DEWs and I've seen it with everything else that we have in terms of missile operations or any advanced weaponry, but I haven't seen it done with that, and that might also be attributed to the fact that we haven't used them that many times.
Yeah, Jessica, this happened
you said you handle retrieval.
What do you say?
I said you said that usually you handle retrieval, but right. They moved you out. They moved you around. You didn't even get to get eyes on the crash site, huh?
Nope. And again, I know this was a big deal because everybody was being moved out in like 30-minute time spans. I think this is a rough estimate, but it was 20 to 30 minutes that I was in there. And everybody else, entire members of different departments, like spectrometry, other stuff like that, oblique imagery, like we all got called in. We were all, and I know there were people that were taking geospatial scans of underwater too. So it makes me think there was also an underwater side of this, but I can't say for sure. Again, I need to do more investigating, but like I mean, this was like, I don't mean to say huge, but we coordinated with everybody. The Department of Navy, the Department of Army, the Department of the Air Force, even the Joint Chiefs of Staffs. I don't want to say I gave a report that went to them, but there was, I talked to some high up people. I mean, the Secretary of Defense was even involved with giving certain, I'll say orders.
So the Secretary of Defense, I'm shy, knew all about these ships. He or she knew about the ships.
He knows everything. I mean, it's not a. It's Let me make it
Yeah.
clear.
Yeah.
he he's one of the big players. His name is Lloyd J. Austin.
Okay.
But yeah.
Does this get to, regardless of who the president is, does a president, and it doesn't matter who the president is, does a president get privy to this information or no?
Not always, but this time it definitely was.
You think that Biden got information about this?
I don't think that was too much to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it was multiple important command centers where things are happening about in specific weaponry upgrades, R&D, UAP. They even went over my old base, Barksdale. I forgot to mention that.
Wow.
They went over Barksdale Air Force Base as well.
Well, Barksdale, where's Barksdale? Did you say Barksdale Air Force Base?
Barksdale.
Where is that?
Louisiana.
So in Louisiana, Barksdale Air Force Base. I'm making notes. AFB, all right. So
No,
they
but
went
like
they went over a lot of Air Force bases, didn't they?
Yeah, and I only know about majority of the Air Force bases because that's where a lot of the command stuff happens. That's where that's where a lot of R&D is happening. A majority of them. I mean,
wow.
There's some smaller ones, per state, but a majority of states are going to have one major one that's at least taken part in R&D of some capacity, shape, or form.
Did they go over any bases in Florida?
Eglin, yeah, Eglin.
Oh, Eglin,
Yeah,
that's
Eglin.
right. You mentioned that. James, are you far from Eglin Air Force Base?
Yes, very far.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about 8 hours.
8 hours, okay.
I mean, and it's everybody who you
But I'm close
expect.
to McDill.
McDill, yeah. McDill, we had actually a couple NRO officers that we were in joint. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So we're talking with Shai. She's with the DOD for people that don't understand this or think it's possible. She is our direct contact. She's come forward. She's a disclosure person, a whistleblower within the DOD in her department. And there are people that are working with her to tell the truth about what's really going on. So if this is blowing your mind, that's okay. Because, let's face it, folks, you would be skeptical of everything. But the information she's giving us is real. My background's I studied news back in the 70s in college. And so, we're very pleased to have become good friends with her, had her confidence. She's a good friend of James and myself, and her information is accurate. Okay? Don't listen to what's on the big news media because they're telling you nothing.
Right.
This is why this show's important.
And like Shai was saying, the reason this is so important because this was the first real, what, as she said, like a coordinated, as we would say, like we run, like drills. They were like running drills on us.
Yeah. And observation, gathering data, that was my best guess. Courtney, Amber Lights was one of the. Courtney Riggs said something in specific where she saw amber lights over Eglin. That was the other report I got. And amber color lights and amber to orange. Yeah, and I don't know that for sure, but that's what I heard.
I'm going to make a note of that. Amber lights.
So if she saw it and you're hearing it, it's definitely happening.
Courtney, did you see 12 individual craft?
She said she saw a bunch of them.
Oh, she's saying she saw a whole bunch of them. I see 6 to 8, she says.
6 to 8. Wow.
When did you see that? What was the date? I saw footage.
Today, footage from where? Skip to Grace.
Honestly, I think the biggest help right now is the public. Like we need it.
Courtney, where did you see the 6 to 8? Can you tell us where you saw the 6 to 8? What day it was? What day was that? Or was it last Saturday? When was that?
Kit Kat said she forwarded it to you.
Okay. Last Tuesday, she's saying.
Interesting. I don't know of anything last Tuesday.
Wow.
I mean, maybe. I mean, maybe. Let me ask. I'll ask around. I don't want to. Maybe there was other, I don't know, contact before
There
that
could have
date and
been.
time when this all happened.
Yeah. Well, Courtney,
Oh,
I'm sure
Stacy
we'll
just
find out. You know.
Stacy just said I saw a bunch to at least 12 came up from the horizon and disappeared in the sky. Where were you at, Stacy?
Looked blue. She said they looked
Yeah.
blue, and you said
Yeah.
they were blue.
Yep.
And Stacy, when was the date of that, Stacy? When did you see that? Houston.
Yeah.
What day
Houston?
though? What day in Houston?
Yeah, near Houston.
Near
I mean,
Houston.
that's right by Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, if they're zooming.
I mean, I don't know everything. And like and I really have to reiterate, I know for a fact there was way more that happened than I know. I mean,
and it is true. You're right. The public here can give us information too, because they are our eyes and ears, for what they see out where they live.
Houston, okay, well, I'm talking, and someone said it's not near Dallas. I'm talking about in terms of like looking at a state level and how fast these things travel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When they're moving from Paris to New York in 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
Dallas to Houston is a hairway.
I mean, we don't do that. I mean, usually when we're corroborating things like this and we're giving data points to certain people, like, again, JSOC is really where this all comes from, or NORAD. So you're giving these data points and this visual telemetry to them. You're not being moved out every 20 seconds. Maybe if it's a serious event and you're coordinating a crash retrieval, maybe every hour, and they're switching to keep confidentiality, and then after you're getting hit with an NDA. But it's just like,
do we know? I'm sorry. Do we know about the crash retrieval you mentioned, and I made notes here about the scalar weapon being used to shoot down a craft? Either it was in the Pacific coast off California or the Canadian Atlantic coast, correct?
Yes.
Do we have any indication from your contacts yet of if there were any living beings inside the craft?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
I don't think, I think this leaves my control. And this was a big event. My clearance, I feel like, was deemed useless after this kept, kept pinging place to place to place. That's where and I'm in a program that like specializes in the crash retrieval. So,
yeah.
I mean, like,
do you think, in the next few weeks or a couple of days, you can do some snooping around with somebody you can trust that might tell you if there were any retrieval of beings or space people in this craft that was taken down?
Yes, I can ask. I mean, I just want to be really frank here, though. This is not going to be, I'm going to do what I can, but this is an event, and we haven't had something like this happen in, honestly, 40 years. I mean, and last time something like this happened, it was just multiple missile coordination centers, and and they had activated and pointed at a certain place, and it had just stopped, just like in Russia. So that was the most serious thing I knew of until this point in time.
And the Russian event also happened last Saturday, correct?
Yeah, it's the same date. The telecommunication.
Where in Russia was
Friday.
Where were they over Russia? With the fleet of ships, whereabouts?
I've got to figure it out. I don't know. I've been trying to figure it out.
When you get that figured out, I'm throwing questions at you here, but now you at least have it in your mind, the question. So whenever you have the answer, that's fine. But I'm also, again, take your time with it. If you find somebody that's willing to speak, that's up there to you and give you the information. I really want to know how many of these beings.
Stacy said it was Friday or Saturday.
I mean, in terms of the crash retrieval, if there were living entities there, I think once you can find it out, take a few days to do it and come back to us with that, because I think that's important. Not only that they took down a craft and shot at it with a scalar weapon, but we were the aggressors over some fleet of ships that were going over bases, not doing anything, but they were able to turn off our electricity, the weapons, and so forth. I think it's really important that we now disclose, these beings that came there. Obviously, we're not threatening to blow up the world. They came there trying to monitor, and from you were saying last night, they were observing a lot of different things all over the world, correct?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And we don't really, do we have any idea? Has anyone said, well, now we have a better idea as to why they're here, or why they were observing the cities and coming over military installations, going to Tokyo, New York, and other cities?
I mean, oh, man, I don't want to it scared me.
Now you got scared.
And it's not because of them. It's just that coordination is unprecedented. We've never seen it. And on top of the uptick that we're clearly seeing in every sister agency of ours, whether it be the NRO, the Missile Coordination Center, anything, every defense agency was involved, every single one. And that's not. Amazing. You'll have a couple, you'll have a couple, and I'm talking about U.S.-based Department of Defense. You'll have a couple, but we had, like counterintelligence and security agency we're on the line with. Even the DHA, which is the Defense Health Agency, because I think there was a certain, I don't want to speak on that because I'm not sure, but when the time comes.
Oh, no. When you do know, speak on. When you don't know yet, don't worry about it.
DIA, everybody.
So they had everybody involved in this, all these different agencies.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Linda Morgan saying, why is none of this on the news? I'll tell you why, Linda, and then I'll let Shai mention it. I do believe it's not in the news because the major news networks are either not privy to this, or if they are privy to it, they're told not to say anything, one or the other. So from a media perspective, this person wants to know why it's not on the news.
They didn't have enough time. They did not have enough time. It was 2 seconds to 3 seconds each time. There was not enough time for people to take out their cameras and take a peek. The only people who had honestly access to this were people with visual telemetry playback, because we weren't getting them on radar. There was, no naval aircraft carrier. There was active jamming on almost all of our devices.
Wow.
And
the jamming was happening on Friday and Saturday, or Saturday?
Saturday, and I think an instance Friday too.
Okay, so jamming was Friday and Saturday, definitely Saturday for sure. So I'll just let people know this is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. I'm your host, CmdrAleon. I've been on 20 years on WESU NPR Pacific Radio. I've studied news and journalism back in the 70s, and that's why I can ask the questions I do in the way I do it. And I'm also a contactee. So beyond that, as a kid, I had my first contact with space people that were like us, in a flying saucer and hovering over a cul-de-sac. Then I forgot about it, but I couldn't really forget about it because I had many sightings growing up as a kid in the 60s and all through the 80s and onwards. So my background is very extensive, and I don't care about websites, people's opinions, or whatever. My information is very clear, and also I'm a contactee with a space being. Before there was any internet, I've been in contact with a space being within the Ashtar Galactic Command, which is a real grouping of many different spiritual civilizations. So I have a lot of different layers to myself, and that's why when I talk to Shai, I can relate to things she's sharing, and she can relate when I give her information. She'll tell me whether it's, it confirms that she agrees with it or not. And so far, the synergy of what we know is very, very clear. What's going on here with these spaceships, going over missile centers, going over Russia, and going over major metropolitan cities like New York, Tokyo, Houston, and other cities, Bangladesh, Dubai. There's a reason why this is happening, right?
Yeah, Stacy just asked if they were in Dallas. Yes, they were seen in Dallas.
And
again, when they were over these cities, that's when they were, and again, this was about fractions of a second. So we're talking, this was on the shorter end of the spectrum when they were staying there. So really at minimum about 2.5 seconds they were staying there. Over the major military installations, it was a little bit longer. In one case, which is the Missile Command Center, 3.2 seconds was the exact time that they were over, and that was the longest that I have confirmation of.
So for new people coming here, last Saturday and last Friday, this is when the 2.3 seconds per city. I mean, you got to figure how quickly they went from one city to the other. It just defies any type of ability for us to go at that speed. Their spaceships were a blink of an eye, if that. In a nanosecond, they were in Tokyo, New York, Dallas. This
Yeah.
is something you need to understand. They were in 2 days over in military installations and over metropolitan cities where potentially people did get to see them. And New
And we
York.
wouldn't have known. That's the funniest thing. We would not have known if if there was no visual or no confirmation or communications
Right.
between anybody, or at these bases, if they say they're going over the ocean or they just appear in the ocean, we wouldn't have known, had no clue, which is that's the scariest part to me. Because
Today, a big girl Storm is saying, did they fly over the city? Did they even
no,
hover over installations, or did they keep moving?
hover.
They
They were
just
They
hovering.
hovered.
appeared.
Yeah, they just appeared.
I was thinking, Shai, you've got eyes on these crafts in the air way more than any of us. You said it was the first time you've seen a craft like this, and
Yeah,
and
give me
I
goosebumps.
I
Never ever.
really think that this was a first time contact for us at the on
Yeah.
the planet level from this species. I think this was a new a new group of beings that came to visit that we've never encountered before.
Yeah.
I mean, and let me make it oddly apparent. They didn't move like anything we'd seen before. They were in exact formation. They had, you know what? I forgot out this core detail. They switched formation.
Mm-hmm.
So there's terminology. So think of like a typical when birds are migrating. That's the exact formation they took, which is a V line. So they had a V line formation, and then they had subsequently switched to a diamond formation. And I couldn't. There's no way to tell why they were doing that. It wasn't over certain places. It was just happening at random places. So, I mean, I really I can't stress enough that I have never seen anything behave this way. I mean, we've seen things appear. We've seen things appear. That's not the crazy part. It's the all the scope of what they were monitoring, which was, you
Right.
know,
Yeah. And you know what? When you look at this, folks, this is Encounters, the UFO talk show here on TikTok, on any social media. My co-host James is here. Amshai,
Hello.
our person who's got high security clearance within a department of the DOD that she works in with her colleagues. And we're talking about what this happened last Friday and Saturday. And it's really significant because it's showing that we're having some sort of visual contact with these fleet of ships. These space people are saying, we're here, and then they were there for 2 days within 2.3 seconds over all these indicated cities. I've made a lot of notes here. And I don't think it's the last of it. I think that this is only the beginning. Yes, last Saturday, that this is only the beginning of more of these fleets that are going to be showing up around our planet. Is there any indication, I'm shy, that we will, I'm not, I know you're not psychic, but is there any indication or feeling from all these agencies that are focusing on space that this is something dramatic, of course, and as you said, something never seen before, that they feel that there's going to be more of these things happening around the planet?
Well, let me make it clear. So every single agency went into a special alert. So this again, and so special alert is something basically something we haven't adequately assessed, or there's certain conditions surrounding that. So, and that was everybody. It wasn't just us. It was every single person. So, and we've had corroboration before. We had a lot of corroboration a couple weekends ago when there was a craft that had dispensed things over the ocean. That was weird. That was crazy. That was a lot for me at the time as well. But I thought that was kind of like peak where it was going to get weird, quote unquote. But just the monitoring of facilities really was crazy.
That's amazing. And it's just, it's mind-boggling. You sit here thinking about this, all that we're discussing and sharing that you're exposing, which people need to know the truth, and this is true. And they're not going to see it tomorrow morning on ABC Good Morning America or, whatever. They're just not going to see it. But you are getting this information here on Encounters, so you can bet your boots that when Shai is here with us and she takes a couple of days to correlate information with her associates, that you're getting the best information of disclosure right here on my show. And that's, the news. Yeah, the news is controlled 001. That's why the news media doesn't talk about this. They only talked about the disclosure hearings and then went back to fluffy stuff or the regular news cycle. But we're talking about some real stuff that's happened last Friday and Saturday. I do believe, and again, I really feel that there's going to be many more of these things happening. I can't tell you when, because those guys upstairs, those space people will do what they're going to do. And I'm sure they're coordinating on their motherships and deciding what they're going to do next. And we just don't know what it is yet. But I'm pretty sure we're going to be in for some more major sites of these fleets. Would you agree with that, Amshai?
I don't want to say it, 100%, because again, this is the first time we've had Diamond Craft before, but not in this capacity.
Yeah.
But I can't say for sure.
And it's interesting. You mentioned the colors of the ships, about being blue and changing colors. Now, I don't know if that has to do with the ship's frequency. I've always thought that, in my understanding, that the changing of the color of a ship, radiating different colors, has something to do with the technology of the craft or its vibrational patterns. But I don't know that for sure. I'm just suggesting that could be a possibility. Who knows? But that's interesting. And that the fact that they're diamond ships, I made a really big note on that. They come from somewhere, obviously far away. Their ships are diamond shaped, which is very unusual. They were blue in color, and for people coming in here, they were seen changing their color too. Like they can change the patterns of their color around their ship. So I thought that was interesting. And the fact that they were overseas, like Tokyo, New York, Houston, Mumbai, over in India, they really traversed a number of different areas of the world, from the Asian area of our world, where India is, certainly North America. Any indications of them appearing over Central or South America at the time?
I heard things about Africa, but I wouldn't be able to confirm.
Yeah, we can't confirm Africa, but maybe somebody in Africa might have said, I caught it for 2 seconds or something. So basically, they could have been all over the place, but the main tracking radar had them in these different places that all the agencies that were involved in tracking this for those 2 days actually were able to do. I'm sure, did it shake up anybody in the higher levels? It must have shaken them up a little bit.
Oh, yeah. They were handing out NDAs like candy, dude. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there is things I just don't feel comfortable saying right now, because, I mean, I don't want to say I got slapped with one, but, I mean, it was everybody, dude. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like,
it really blows my mind, this whole thing.
I mean, me too. I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about it, because everything was happening. I mean, there was communications. There was, I think there were reports of people thinking it was certain governments doing it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that was the initial idea from China.
It would be China or Russia, that would be their technology. And then they found, oh no, it's something not of this world, and it's non-terrestrial activity. So they should have been scared. Someone's asking me, they're trying to ask me, sometimes it's me, says, Commander, does your galactic contact have any information about the event? Give me a second. I'll let Shai talk, and I'll ask my contact right now. My contact is.
I'm thinking these beings were outside the command.
Yeah. I mean, this was, again, it was different, but I'll read some of the comments, I guess. Aren't you scared to lose your job? There were at least 10,000 people on this doing the exact same thing I was, so no, I'm not. I'll keep reading.
We need every one of them to disclose the truth.
I'm shy. You don't think they were different? Absolutely not. They were behaving the same way. They looked the exact same way. They were emanating the same light.
And you can ask Amshai questions. Please do. My audience out here, if you have questions, now's the time to ask her because she's involved on the inside and she's one of the good people that's trying to disclose what's going on within. So ask her questions if you have any questions. I'm going to try to get
How much time between
contact with her.
cities? About 5-second intervals between the transportation at most. There's typically 2.3 seconds they were visible, to 3 seconds they were visible, but we also had on the lower end about 2.3 seconds from initial contact from China to Hawaii. Any type of communication? No. Are you sure they were the same ships? Yes, 100%, without a doubt. We have never seen anything operate like that. Usually we'll have some data or telemetry to go off of to track these things. We didn't have anything like that. You know, obviously sometimes we've had them where we've had no tracking, but not like this. Not on mass. We'd have some type of telemetry.
Right. This was like a first contact type event.
Yeah. The crafts were shot
With
down.
these type
One craft was shot down, and that was pure luck. I know that for a fact, because they had made. I can't give you an exact number of attempts, but there were multiple attempts. Does our government? Yes, we had multiple. We do coordinate with other countries. Yeah, we have telecommunication lines set up at all times with certain countries in order to prevent nuclear war.
Right, because like you said, you have to coordinate to make sure, hey, China, is this yours? Russia, is this yours? You know, Israel, is this yours? And, you know, and when everybody says, no, we have no clue.
100%.
Let's be the furthest thing.
So here's what I'm getting, okay? Just so you know, the person I'm communicating with, I use telepathy. I don't channel anything, folks. Kadar Manka is a real physical person or being or star being. And I'm in telepathic communications with him right now. What he's telling me is, and again, take this as you will, that what you're going to see within the following year, there'll be other galactic fleets, he's telling me, that will appear. These fleets are coming from very far away from beyond our planet. Okay. They're being drawn here because there's an event that is to occur that is going to switch the Earth into a different frequency. If that makes any sense to anyone. Okay. So I'm giving this information now. Again, I'll get more clarity on it in the next few weeks or whatever. But he says people need to be prepared. It's only the beginning. He says it's only the beginning. That's what I'm getting. The person asked me that question.
Ooh.
The person asked me that question. He's saying it's only the beginning. If you don't think anything's happening, you're living in a fantasy world. Wake up, look up, be ready. That's what he's saying. He's very direct.
I mean, it was. Someone asked, "How do we prepare?" Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to make you seem.
You better pray.
You don't. You don't prepare.
You don't prepare. The only thing he's saying is he's saying that people need to be still, need to get out of their heads. He's saying get out of your heads, get out of your brain, and be at peace with yourself. Because if you're not at peace with yourself, you will not understand what's happening when it happens. Make sure you are at peace with yourself, he says. Everybody on the earth, be at peace with yourself because things are going to start happening that in your life you've never seen before in the skies above you. That's what he's telling me.
Wow.
Someone asked if I knew anything about the Tabby Star. No, I don't. Do they come in peace? I mean, they didn't. They weren't hostile. I mean, the only hostile one was us.
You know, yeah, we were hostile.
And I know
we were trying to shoot them down.
I know China tried to do some stuff too. I mean,
yeah,
it's not just, and I can guarantee with Russia's past, they definitely, if there was telecommunications set up between them, so I'm under they wouldn't do that or have active communication if something didn't happen. But Russia has a very bad reaction to these types of things in particular.
Right. Another thing people need to know is that our consciousness is swayed by all these ridiculous Hollywood movies over the last 40, 50 years of ET invasions, War of the Worlds, all this stuff. So your mind thinks, oh, did they attack us yet? They invade our planet? And then you have people on the internet, on Facebook, on YouTube, whatever, talking about these invasions in their heads. They have invasions happening in their heads.
Right.
So it's all fear-based. If you see anybody telling you there's going to be an invasion, they're operating in their consciousness in fear because they don't know.
Let me just say, as a person who's witnessed these things, anytime anything is hostile, or like not even hostile, we don't even see hostile really.
Right.
I've seen maybe one hostile instance, and that was over repeated aggression. Yeah, but another thing, right? I mean, every time that there's somebody's harmed or injured, it was accidental. We enter some type of, I'll call it a field, which I like to call galactic torque, for lack of a better term. Some universal physics property we just simply do not understand because we're not advanced enough. And they get in between this and are subsequently dematerialized.
Yeah.
Yeah. And someone just made a good point. If they wanted to do something, they absolutely 100% could do it at any second, any time, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Shai is absolutely correct. If they wanted to do something, for those that you think, that the ETs are here to blow up the world, look at your government, the military, industrial people, the people at the bases that are being told to try to shoot these ships down with scalar weapons, which they tried to do. They got one of the crafts, which is unusual. These crafts usually are very well protected. They have a field of protection around them. So it was highly unusual how they shot that with a scalar weapon, as I was talking about.
I think that was because everybody was immediately alerted, and I think everybody was immediately waiting for this communication, and I think they were actively monitoring after the first, core militaristic points that we have were, had this. I think everybody was immediately ready. I think it was, joint communication, 100%.
A heart saying, I thought, and this is for you, Shai, I'm pretty sure it is, I thought I heard they stopped a nuclear war.
I wouldn't be able to say in specific if they have, but I know they've disabled nuclear capability. And I know we've implemented some of that technology into it. I mean, I know for a fact right now, if somebody launched a nuke, the United States would know and would be able to subsequently remotely disable it.
Yeah. Starshine says, I wonder if they let one be shot down to gather data from our military. I don't think they want to be shot down.
I mean, I honestly think I think it was pure luck. I think it is absolutely the chances of them actually, when I saw that, I didn't think there was actually going to be a crash retrieval in the slightest. I thought this was going to be a phenomenon that we weren't going to hear any more about. But what I'm worried about is, which we're usually pretty good about this, retrieval in the ocean because we have nuclear submarines and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to hear anything else about this. 100%. I mean, I don't think
you think it's going to be hushed up, Shai?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
hushed up. It already is.
I mean, more than we've ever had. I mean, I don't know.
You think, are there people in that grouping where it would be, said nothing more is going to be said about this, that disagree with that decision or command, that you think somebody would come forward to you maybe and say, I'm Shai, well, whatever. I don't like what they're doing here about this. I'm going to give you the information. That can happen, right?
I'm not asking. I honestly feel like I would be in jeopardy because everybody got hit with NDAs. I mean,
really? Okay.
Usually if I'm in cooperation with somebody and we both have worked on the activity, I'll ask questions, what they know, because they might be there a little bit longer, right? But with something like this that was seen every single place, it would not be safe, honestly, for me to. I don't even want to show interest in it, quite frankly.
Yeah. Okay.
To be honest.
No, we want you to be safe, but we also want the truth to be told, that these people should not be hiding this information from the public at all. If there are beings that were retrieved through the crash in the Pacific or the Atlantic, Canada. We don't know if they're alive, if they're not alive. We have no idea,
Yeah, I mean, and this is
And
something.
that's the part that really bothers me, is that we don't know.
And if these were these showed properties of things we haven't really. I mean, again, I'll say it a million times. We haven't encountered this. So I don't know how this is going to go down. I don't know if I'm going to hear anything else about it unless this happens again. I mean, satellite photos. I'm not going to say there aren't satellite photos and video. That was the only visual. That's the only telemetry we had. The only things we had were our satellite footage and drone footage.
Do you think that David Grush has been, he is in the intelligence community? Was he notified of this?
He's not really involved in that anymore because ever since he came on as whistleblower, but he knows people. So, I mean, high up people. So, even people from my department I work with now had communication with him and gave him certain things. But regardless, he probably knows. Yeah.
What about the Department of Defense came out with their new website regarding aerial phenomena? Are those people privy to what's going on?
Miss Hicks, her name's Hicks, Miss Hicks, I'll call her. But she, I'm not going to say she was working in public interest. I don't think she's working in public interest, quite frankly.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard her talk about this issue before. I've actually had direct interaction with her, and quite frankly, I don't see her being a speaker for the public. I see it. I think everybody started complaining, because Arrow didn't have a website set up that was efficient. You couldn't email, you couldn't call, couldn't send in reports, And I think everybody started complaining about that, especially commercial airliners. And since that happened, they decided to, do a little bit of pleasing, so we'd stop for a little bit.
Right.
And go ahead and, appoint someone to oversee. That's what I think happened.
So the website for what they're doing for that internal group is, like I said, to please the public and get them off the case of the Pentagon, correct?
That would be my best opinion, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. That's what I think happened too. I can't prove it, but I think that's absolutely what happened. I don't think they really care about disclosure. They just want to get everyone just to go about their business and see, we did this for you people. Now you can go home and go shopping in the supermarket with your kids, go to Disney World and forget about it.
Well, I think, they stigmatize this so much that, if something does happen, people are going to be more scared than, which I don't want to say there's not hostile things in this galaxy, or galaxies, because I feel like that's statistically unlikely, right? But in the vast majority, and especially in public instance, or even for me, I mean, hostility is the lesser likely option.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Down rabbit hole, James. You got any questions? Anybody in the audience have any questions for Shy? We're taking your questions tonight.
I'm taking it all in. I'm trying to communicate with these crafts that are new to our environment, new to Shy at least. Who knows the truth?
And Delia Durham says, when did this all happen? That's just skate on here. I don't think they heard us earlier. It was last Friday and Saturday. Although in 2/3 of the planet, I would say, correct?
I wouldn't even doubt that they were seen other places too.
Yeah, probably. They were seen in a lot of places. Friday and last Saturday, for the person asking that question. And don't be worried if you're late coming in here. This show is going to be rebroadcast on recording on my YouTube channel, Astro Command Spaceship News Plus Encounters, which is part of that YouTube, and on Facebook. So if you miss anything, you can go to my YouTube channel and watch it later or tomorrow or what have you.
So I'm seeing a lot of questions. If they were not hostile, why do we shoot them down? Because we want to be the most, if we don't like the thought of other people shooting them down. So if they're trying to shoot them down or using weapon technology that we potentially don't know about, then they're going to be ahead. And that's how the U.S. thinks, which is, again, the biggest military infrastructure in the world. And so that's why we are automatically hostile to the majority of these things. We want what's on there first. We want to utilize it. We want to envelop it in the R&D department and subsequently be lost between our private contractors. That's why they want to do that. I'm just reading off comments, but every country in the world does not want to share. Absolutely not. If a public had 100% proof, they released those satellite photos that we have and that video, and the public sees that, how are they going to react to them scoping out heavy military infrastructure?
Yeah. Someone says here, I'm sorry, any info on Michigan sightings?
Not in specific, no.
Okay. And Mount Laurel says, did the flyovers occur all over the world?
Yes. I wouldn't call it a flyover because they weren't really flying.
Right, they were hovering.
Yeah.
It was appearing.
Yep.
Stacy says, Shai, do you think they were attempting, let's see here, let me go backwards. They were attempting to neutralize weapons worldwide for future mass contact? That's a good question.
That is a really good question. I mean, I think our systems are back up. I know that. I mean, I think it was just jamming, but I'll give an opinion here. It seemed like there was heavy analysis and observation on their side. So it seemed like they were scoping us out, looking at our population density, looking at these cities, where we are. And again, we've never seen anything behave like these. We've never seen these before. So, I mean, it's hard to deduce motive for these things because they could have an entirely different brain chemistry, and they could just be looking at us. They could maybe not even wanting to come down or whatever, just analyzing. We don't know, and so it's very hard to deduce. But they were definitely observing.
Yeah, Big Girl Storm says, I'm Shy, hovering, wow, and wow.
Yeah.
It is a wow, yeah.
Shy, how did they behave? I mean, there was really no behavior. I mean, it was so rapid. I mean, the behavior, I guess the best way to describe how they behaved was, I mean, I said it already, but observation. They were observing core critical points of infrastructure. Only those places that, maybe they were somewhere more remote that I think about it. We wouldn't have any way of knowing. Yeah. Absolutely no way of knowing.
Let's see. Witchy says how some people would react. I think she's saying reaction to seeing these fleet of ships. That's hard to tell how people would react.
I think that's one of the most volatile parts of this,
Yeah.
How they react.
Stacy says, Shai, how did they behave? I don't think a spaceship can't behave. It's a ship. But Stacy's saying, how did they behave?
Again, purely observational, looking at critical points of infrastructure.
Mm-hmm. And MC is saying, I'm late to joining. Could the last sighting be related to recent fires, chaotic weather, etc.?
I don't believe so. The weather, everything.
Don't think so either. Good. Oops. Go ahead, Shai.
And everybody needs to just be like, don't freak out. Is all I'm saying. I mean, because whatever it is, we have to come to terms with, even if they were hostile, which I genuinely believe otherwise. And if so, we haven't seen that demeanor just yet. But I mean, you just gotta accept what it is. You need to keep your mind open. Believe what you want to believe, but use objective analysis. And you guys need to push for, and I think really there's this fear mongering of this issue. The government's taken part of it. Hollywood's taken part of it. And now everybody has this big bag stigma of these little green men that are coming to invade, and if there is an invasion, which I think it's very unlikely, but if there ever was one, quite frankly, you can blame the military for that. Because we're the ones shooting at them. We're the ones engaging them. It's never us. Anytime they come, into our airspace, it's purely observational or, happenstance.
Yeah. And it feels like they, from my being around for a number of decades and knowing the history of the sightings of the 60s when they had the Project Blue Book and Dr. Alan Hynek, when he was alive, working with the Air Force, that these craft primarily have never, ever attacked our planet. Never. Even in growing up as a kid, I never heard stories of attacks to our planet by non-terrestrial beings. The attacks that are happening were done to them. A point in time when I met the person in Long Island who ran a large UFO organization that I spoke at, and when I was doing my TV show back then, I filled in on a TV show in Long Island on Cablevision. It was a UFO show. The host wasn't available, so I came down to Long Island and did the show. I went to a UFO conference, and we saw video footage from a defense contract that was given to the president of this organization. He wanted disclosure. This is back in the early 90s. The South Haven case, if anyone knows about South Haven, Long Island, a large ship was shot down outside of Brookhaven Laboratories. I know this for a fact. I saw the video footage. And there were non-terrestrial beings. The fire department was called in. Somebody had a camera that no one saw. He was videotaping what was going on in this fenced area of the park. And there were injured extraterrestrials or non-terrestrial beings that were alive. One of them was being carried in a silver suit with his head looking as he was being lifted by a firefighter walking to another area. It was a lot of stuff going on. That video, I knew I should have asked for it before this person was taken out. He was put in jail, in prison, upstate New York, the head of this group. But he had video that was leaked to him from South Haven Park in the early 90s when this happened, November of 97, 92. I don't remember the exact date, but you can see in this video that it's probably, the government probably has it. It's probably hidden away somewhere. But we shot down with a particle accelerator beam, a big, huge ship hovering over Eastern Long Island. This is a true story. And this is information you're not going to hear. I know this for a fact because I saw the video that this person had that was given to him by a defense contractor. So there you go. We've been, shooting down non-terrestrial craft for many decades, or at least tried to. This was a big craft. There were other vessels or other UFOs or what people call UAPs at the time of the South Haven incident that were also shot down. We were shooting down with particle accelerator beams non-terrestrial spaceships over Long Island. All right? You don't know any of this stuff, folks. I do, because I happen to be, whatever the reason, I was there at the right time with this organization and got to know this person. And when I was at his house a month before he was arrested, we were writing notes. We couldn't speak. We couldn't say anything because he was being tapped, monitored. When he was arrested, they took all his UFO files, everything, all his videotapes, everything he had regarding this. All the information that was given to him. It was taken by the government.
Oh, wow. I just saw a video of it. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm looking right now and I'm seeing a video of the exact phenomena. What I saw. But they're moving around. I don't know where this is, but this is it. This is what they look like. It's not 12. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is exactly what I saw. I'm going to send it to you right now. There's more.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I want that video. I'm gonna post that video on my YouTube channel, and I'll post it on here on TikTok. Thank you for that. See, folks, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have a video that no one has. We're gonna disclose the information, and you're gonna see these ships, or we call UAPs. This is the grouping of ships, and she's got the video now, and we're gonna expose this video publicly right here on my YouTube channel. On TikTok, I'm going to talk about it on my radio show tomorrow. I've got notes here, so I'm certainly going to talk about it on the radio, what happened for people on the radio side on WESUFM.org, NPR Pacific Radio. Tune in on Sunday morning, 11:30 Eastern. We'll be going live, and I will definitely be talking about this. This is new information. We're not just talking about what happened last Friday and Saturday. Now we have video confirmation that we can share with you. So this is going to be on my, tonight I'll post it. After I get off here, I'll post it on my TikTok right away, and I'll pin it and FYP it so people can see it.
Something I want to note is these aren't in the formation I saw them, but they are definitely the same thing. They're shaped the same way. They're on the x-axis. This is it.
Wow. Now, sometimes it's me. The video is not public. This is top secret video footage that's not public. It's going to be public one.
This is
it
a
is
video.
Public.
This is a video filmed on a phone. Yeah, this is it though. I mean, I can.
Oh, it is public. Okay.
I can 100, and this was posted Saturday. I can 100% say this is.
So where did the public video come from?
Them. It says it's in Prague. I mean,
okay.
This is
sorry.
It's a
little
weird for me. I didn't expect.
Then, I guess.
And they're there for a lot longer.
Oh, so somebody publicly was able on their phone to capture this on video.
Yeah, and this is they're there for about 23 seconds and they're moving around.
Wow.
But I didn't see this. I'm a little bit confused. That's them though. I mean,
okay.
That's
and what and on the video, what color do they look like? Do you know?
They look white on the video, but that happens with blue light all the time. They're definitely they're blue. Yeah, I mean it's like it's a light blue, but it appears white because it's the phone camera.
All right, so Amshai's going to send me a copy of this. I'm going to make sure this public video is more exposed. Somebody was very lucky to record this. And was that recorded? Does it have a date when it was recorded? Was it during that time period last weekend?
Last Saturday.
Somebody did catch it. Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. I just want to let people know this is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. I haven't said enough. Please subscribe. We have 39 of 100 subscribers. Please be a subscriber for us. You can be a monthly subscriber or for a month, whatever you want to do. Also go to my CmdrAleon 2022. I have my Cash App link, Venmo, and you can donate $5, $10, or $15 tonight. That would be great if you're able to do it. I haven't really asked for any gifts tonight, but we really would like to see some major gifts for those that do have a lot of the TikTok coins that are sitting there just waiting to be used. Any galaxies or things like those big things or little gifts, lights, whatever you want to do. Let's take a little break for a second or two and see some things flowing through the screen here for the show Encounters. This is your late night UFO talk show. Honey McReynolds always coming through. She's always coming through. She's the first one. Who's the second or third one that's going to throw a gift here to Encounters? Please show that love, unconditionally. There's no conditions here for it. And, and become a subscriber too. You can be a monthly subscriber. Where you see the golden star, it says 39 of 100. If you see a subscribe button come up, press subscribe now. So become a subscriber. Also, Venmo is available to all our viewers here. You can go to my CmdrAleon 2022 and just go to the link and you can donate whatever you want on the Venmo. Again, if we can see that, thank you for the heart. We appreciate that. The heart hand, thank you. Any other gifts right now as we take a little mini break here on Encounters to get the gifts going. Support this non-commercial informational program. Show your support for what we do. We do this for everyone. We do what we do to expose the truth of what's going on. And no, Susan, we're going to be doing our C5 next Saturday. It was so last minute I couldn't get everybody together. So it's next Saturday night. We're going to have a video set up. I'll be getting something posted here before the weekend's out for next Saturday. So we will have that. We appreciate all the gifts here, folks. If there's anyone else that wants to do a boat or a galaxy or a whale, we'll get back to our interview here with Amshai, our friend within the DOD. And we're going to also show you the video once we get through that. Kit Kat, thank you. Appreciate it. Any other people, any small gifts, medium gifts, large gifts? We'd love to hear it all. Teresa, thank you. Confetti. Oh, there's something new I've never seen. That's very cool. I've never seen that. Stacy, thank you. Rhonda, thank you. We'll do a few more gifts and then we'll go back into our interview and take your questions. We encourage people to ask questions here on Encounters of Amshai. And Julie, thank you for the teddy bear. We appreciate all that. And any more big gifts like another galaxy, anyone who has a lot of coins, what is that? Oh, that's really cool. That's Susan Murray. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you there for the new universe thing, whatever that is. Thank you very much for that. And we're going to go back and talk to Amshai here. We just did a break to get support for what we're doing. So we appreciate everything. And we certainly appreciate our audience here on late night. So Amshai, we're going to get back to questions and see what people have to say. Can't wait to see the video, the public video this person has. well, we're going to get that person's video out all over the place. Let's see what other questions. Let's see. Any questions you have, folks, please, ask them. I'll go backwards here. Thank you for the earth. Again, Paper Cranes here. You folks are awesome, man. We love you. I'm just trying to get to the questions. Go ahead.
So some other interesting information. This is in the public sphere. I've gotten some reports on potentially if the Schumer legislation doesn't pass through, then some people releasing video footage, satellite video footage and drone video footage. But that's a last last resort situation.
Yeah.
So
Schumer doesn't get. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it regards the Schumer legislation. If that doesn't pass through, then, I mean, I think people are tired of it. I mean, especially after this newest instance, every intelligence apparatus knows. Every single person with clearance is going to know. If you operate visual telemetry, which there's like 300,000 of us, you're gonna know, right?
Yeah.
And I think if the public, doesn't hear anything that they need to be hearing, then I think that people are going to come forward, and that's the government's own fault.
Do you have a sense that there's a lot of people in these agencies dealing with the non-terrestrial ET area that are getting fed up with this and the whole thing? And if Schumer's bill doesn't get passed, that these people that are within that have top security clearance that want disclosure, want the world to know the truth, are going to say, the heck with the generals, we're just going to go out there, we're done with it. Do you see that kind of, is there like sort of like a revolution brewing inside these agencies?
Every time
I don't know how
a revolution brews, what happens is tensions rise, and that's exactly what I'm saying. They're trying to keep control over the situation, and this time they just could not, simply because of the amount of just the severity of this last incident.
Yeah.
It tends to feel that way, in my opinion. Yeah, that's kind of how I
feel. I'm with you there. I've got to think that a lot of the younger generation within these agencies that went into it for whatever reason, to do their jobs and have that security clearance maybe higher than you do. I'm sure some of them are saying, boy, these guys have been lying to the public for 50, 60, 70 years. Now they want us to do the same thing, and they're saying, I'm not going to do it. Either come forward with it, or I'm just going to blow the whistle. I think you have the potential of a lot of agencies dealing with the non-terrestrials. They're going to say, the heck with this, I'm going public. I'll go to the senator. I'll go to whatever,
Well, the senators, I want to have faith in them. I do. But there are some that, especially those with districts that have DUMs deep underground military bases, for anybody that doesn't know. DUMs that are in cooperation with private contractors, that aren't U.S. owned. They're Lockheed Martin owned, Raytheon owned, and they don't have to be in the U.S. There's a shit ton in the Middle East. The CIA has black site operations out there that are completely away from congressional oversight because they're not in the U.S. So my whole thing is, I was kind of generous with the 2027 date. I mean, I hope that the public deserves more. That's what I'm saying. Like, this isn't a misjustice against like two people. This is all humanity, and multiple governments are hiding this information. I know for a fact China knows. I know for a fact that that Russia knows.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Russia has to know, right?
They've had retrievals. Yeah, they know. I mean, we've all had retrievals in some shape or form. I mean, 100%. And you'd think a place as vast as Asia is going to have some, right? So.
Yeah, it's crazy. The whole thing's crazy. Like I said, when before earlier, when James was on, someone asked me, sometimes it's me, asked me, what does my contact think? My contact is real, exists. It's not some figment of my imagination. My information is always accurate. My contact's with the National Galactic Command. And Kadar Manka, who's my contact, who's been on my radio show with me, stated very clearly that people, like I said earlier, need to get prepared, need to get centered. he keeps saying the word centered, because people on this planet don't get centered. They're scattered brained all over the place. They get, into everything 3D world, and then they're just not centered. So when this contact stuff is starting to happen, which it is, which would start happening last Friday, Saturday, he's saying to me, that's only the beginning. He's saying to me, you've seen nothing yet. That's just a pre showing of what is going to come. So he's saying that there's going to be more mass fleets of ships, galactic ships from many planetary worlds that are going to come in mass. So when he says in mass, I get the feeling of the image of that, seeing these fleets of ships, coming in mass. I mean, I have no idea what that's going to look like, but that's what he says. And I'm going to go with it because I keep getting real strong feelings about that,
Well, the data would point that way. I mean, or I wouldn't say, I mean, it would point to something happening, is best way to put it. Like some event. But I'm worried, really. I'm worried that we, the government convinces people to be afraid of these things, and we don't, and people like us, there's 200 of us in here, and I feel like we're all relatively, we kind of understand the situation. But not everybody is like that. Some people are going to think these are fallen angels or something, or this is biblical.
Oh, yeah.
The sign of the end time.
The more fanatical religious people, I'm sure, they'll be taking this in a whole nother level which is not even true. There's people that have disinformation in the religious community and all kinds of websites on the internet, and anyone can create a website and create something that looks really good and believable. It's all a 3D fear-based stuff, so people need to be ready. You're not dealing with attacks by people from Mars or some other planet that are looking like three-eyed people with like fangs and big arms. That's all Hollywood garbage. We're talking about real beings from other planetary worlds, star beings, star people, light beings, whatever you want to call it. That's what we're talking about. Whatever you hear on websites that's fear-based, as we get closer to contact, I think whatever you're hearing, take it with a grain of salt. If someone tells you, oh, there are a bunch of demons coming to Earth, then disregard that person. Get rid of that person out of your life because they have no idea what they're talking about. They're all fear-based comments. You need to be connecting with yourself in order to get to the truth of this, not to websites, religions, or whatever. Throw that out the window and start connecting, folks. Start connecting to what's happening here because it is happening. And you got to be prepared for it, in a very positive way.
And, and that really leads to my point. The Schumer legislation outlines how to do disclosure. And, we've had multiple, for instance, we've had jets that have almost, gone directly head into these things and get taken down. And, not just near misses. We've had things that aren't just near misses. We've, some of our jets have been lost because of this. And this isn't like, we're not in the hundreds anymore. This is like in total UAP encounters, not just crash retrievals, everything. We are well over 20,000. Well over. And I can't even imagine
Did you just say well over 20,000 crash retrievals?
No.
40,000?
No, including everything. Encounters, visual, but like photo-wise, video-wise, we have it all. Every single bit, we have it all. Everything. There is, it's irrefutable. You'll see some of these things, and it's like you can't say that it's us. That's why they release these videos that are easy to.
Now, does the DOD have videos that over the last few decades, in like a compartment in a room somewhere, that are kept top secret that no one sees?
I wouldn't know the storage, but I know their videos are there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a traditional skiff setting. I don't know if it's a traditional skiff setting or what the situation is, but I know for a fact that these videos are somewhere. Maybe they get rid of them. The data's there. The radar's there.
I would think if they had top secret video, when I say top secret, they had really good footage.
Top secret, honestly.
Yeah, they would probably put it in a vault somewhere in the DOD underground or whatever. I don't know. So people can't see it. And
I mean, and I wish
Ron Phillips is
it could
saying,
just,
I've seen one myself. Go ahead.
I wish that like average people like me could just like nab a video, take a video with their phones, like
Yeah.
of our computer monitor and the data
Yeah.
and all our points of all our points of telemetry.
Now what happened, it's funny. What would happen if you were outside going somewhere? It was nighttime, you're taking a little break from work at the DOD, you're on a country road or a state road, and all of a sudden a flying saucer lands right on the road. What would you do?
Oh, I'm taking a video. I'm taking a
Yeah.
video. I'm gonna get my phone out. I'm gonna start recording.
Now, if you recorded it because you're in your position, would you have to tell anybody that you did?
I've never really thought about that.
It was just a question. I thought
Yeah,
that's
it's a
such a
pretty good
good
one. It's a
question.
pretty
I
good one.
don't
It's making
know.
me think.
You know?
Probably no. Nah.
Yeah. I would keep the video and not even tell the DOD.
Oh, 100%. I'd send it to someone like you to release. I wouldn't
I
put
would
my
take
name
the
on
video.
it.
I'd be the one to take the video without any fear at all and post it right on the website. Leon says, I would question whether it was the government, Hollywood, and the government is going to cause. Leon's saying, I would question whether it was the government, Hollywood, and the government is going to cause all kinds of something. I think all kinds of what? Blue, it says it's not safe to tell. We have to tell. We have to tell the truth. It's safe to tell because we have to tell the truth.
I mean, even some of the information I've given you is pretty risky, but I honestly,
it's risky.
I don't do anything that'll break an NDA because I have signed them. But so there are specifics I have to leave out because if I say those specifics, then I'm getting arrested. There is no doubt about it. That's
and we don't need to know. And as long as we get the real information about what happened, this is the stuff that's important. The specific technical data or something that that says where was this specific location of this facility, we don't need to know that. The more important thing is what we're seeing that we talked about earlier is these UAPs, these diamond-shaped ships that appeared all over the world last Friday and Saturday, including over Tokyo and New York and Houston and a number of other places, Mumbai. This happened last Friday and Saturday for people just coming in here. Shai, who's with the Department of the DOD, exposed this information on our show. And so if you missed the show, that's what we're talking about. That's what this whole thing is about. It's about something that has not been publicly known that was going on last Friday and Saturday. Somebody videotaped these ships, these UAPs, a public person videotaped it. Shai sent me the video. I'm going to post it on my TikTok here and on YouTube. So whatever that person's public video is, we're going to make it really go public and talk about it on my radio show tomorrow. And I might even show it through the screen on my YouTube. Once I put it on YouTube, I'll show it through the screen on my big TV screen here so you can all see it.
I saw Skip to Grace asking a question. Did we retrieve it? I have no idea. I would assume. I mean, it wasn't like a, it's not like a traditional crash that you would think. It just kind of falls. It goes down. You're not going to see smoke. You're not going to see all that. Maybe a debris field, but that wasn't this. It just. So, who knows? I'm not going to hear another thing about it. 1,000,000%.
No, and you won't hear nothing about it. You're right. But you know what? Never say never, because as the old saying goes, something can happen that changes, just like day and night. It can rain one day, it could be sunny the next day. You never know. In another week or so, someone could say, we got to get this Tom Shai. We need to give this to her. And you never know. There could be somebody up there quietly saying to themselves, I know this person. I've heard about her. I'll get this information to her. Right? I mean, it could happen. There's nothing's really set in stone, really, is it?
No, 100%. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I hope it turns out that way. But it's hard to think that way when, dude, I mean, everybody got hit with an NDA. I mean, everybody got videotaped. Everybody got interrogated. All the data was taken, which the data wasn't much. I mean, again, it was just video feed. That's all we had. Nothing
now,
else.
Who took the data?
Us and the NRO.
Okay, and when the data was taken, my other question would
who
be,
took it? No,
yeah,
I
like
was
who
talking about
physically,
who.
what department took it and said nobody else can see this?
Usually it's higher ups that come in, and there's usually drives, and they'll take the entire drive and it'll outline, say there's a certain video on that drive, which they're categorized. The moment an instance happens, it stops, and it'll subsequently label all the data points. So it'll pull up a giant image of the radar that you have directly to your right. It'll pull up the latitude, the longitude, the speed the thing's going, the exact time it's there, where it entered, where the altitude was, which these ones didn't have none of that. I mean, when the altitude, longitude, that was it. I mean, and
Kathy,
everybody, again.
Yeah, and now Kathy, I'm looking at comments for you, or she's saying, Kathy McKenna says, I think they have something in the ocean. We talked about something in the ocean. You want to bring up that whole thing about the big ship in the ocean?
There's a ton of, the ocean is a very big hot spot. Also, Commander, I'm probably going to be heading out in a little bit because I'm pretty tired.
Well, I thank you. I'm going to let you go. You've been a blessing. Check on what it was, in the next few days, try to get information about the retrieval of any living space people that might have been in that crashed.
Let me get a notepad of what do you, give me some, what are you looking for?
Okay, I'm looking for information on when they shot down with the scalar weapon one of the diamond ships. I keep getting there was living entities in it. And so I want to know, did they retrieve the bodies? Are they alive? Any information regarding them, I'm very interested to find out, what happened with them.
Okay.
I keep getting there were some living entities. I keep being told upstairs, so to speak. Ask her about that.
I'll try. I'm going to try my best on that. It's just be careful with your hopes on this one, because this is compartment.
No, whatever happens or doesn't happen, I'm fine with it. But if I don't ask the question, I'll never know. We'll never know.
Yeah. Angela
and
just
if it
made
doesn't
a very
happen,
good
that's
point.
fine too.
Yeah.
Say again.
Angela made a very good point. Something that I think is important when we're talking about scalar weapons. It's disabling. It's not like crashing. So she said, do the other ships attempt to get them before they can be retrieved? I think that's honestly applicable here. I think that's an applicable situation. I wouldn't normally say that, but just the advancedness of these craft, I would honestly not think it's too crazy to think that.
Well, again, thank you. I know it's getting late. Yeah. It's 12:01 here. We'll stay on till 12:30 tonight. I don't want to go till 2 a.m. So thank you. I'm going to let you do your thing. Get back to your cat. I have one here, and she's actually being good tonight. So many blessings to you, Shai. Thank you for all the information. I'm going to get the video after I get off of here posted on YouTube and on my Astro Command Spaceship News. We'll be talking about these notes I took tomorrow morning on the radio show. It's Shai, who's with the Department of Defense. I want to thank her for being here. Have a great weekend. What's left of it.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye, Commander. Have a good rest of your night.
You too. Take care. Okay. Bye, folks. This is Encounters, the late night UFO talk show. We'll be going to 12:30
a.m. in the morning on the East Coast. Wherever you are around the world, tune into the show here, Encounters. If you'd like to come on the show and you have over 1,000 followers, you have any questions, if you have any sightings you want to talk about that are happening, if you've seen any of these sightings that we were talking about last Friday and Saturday around the world, wherever you are, India, the United States, wherever you are, we want to hear your stories here. And I'm your host, CmdrAleon. I want to take a little mini gifting break here. So if you support what we're doing here on a regular basis, here late night, here on TikTok, which is a social media platform that we use versus anything else, more than anything else, please do a gift right now. Also go to my Venmo on CmdrAleon 2022. Again, I'll repeat, the Venmo is CmdrAleon 2022. That's not my Venmo, that's my CmdrAleon 2022 is my main page, is my main profile page. There's a link to my Venmo there, and you can donate tonight anything you wish on my Venmo. I would appreciate whatever that is. It could be $5, $10, $15. Please tap the button. Please, let's get up to 50,000 people, before 12:30 tonight, and we're at 12:03, so let's amp it up. We have 206 people in here. I know not everybody has abundance financially, so we're glad that you're in here, regardless of your financial abundance or not. We want you to be here. It's really about the cosmic realm and the truth and the information. For those that have been given and blessed with all those TikTok coins, start using them. Let's see some gifts. The roses are good. Thank you for the roses. Any larger things? I like the whale, the whale that goes through. If anyone can send me a whale, Levick, you are a nice guy. Thank you, Levick. So are you, man. Your energy is beautiful, man. Levick, you're just also very beautiful. So many, many respects to you. Everything that goes on here. And we're glad to have Courtney. Thank you for the roses. We're getting the roses. That's a great way to start of the gifting. The roses are starting up here. So we definitely will take the roses. Thank you, Teresa, for the paw. This is going to get kind of crazy. So we want to have a battle of gifts. The battle of the gifters. We want to see who's going to outdo the other person. So we're going to do right now about 2 or 3 minutes of gift battling here. It's all love. It's all based on love. These battles are love based for the encounters, for myself, what I do here. So we certainly appreciate it. Let's see what else is going to be coming across the screen. Cat paws. Thank you. Ali Tushin. Let's see. Roses. We got cat paws here. All kinds of stuff going. Roses here. We have the lightning bolt. That's good. I feel electrified with that. I love that one. And the superpower. We got the earth. We got the lightning. You're just, amping me up, folks. We appreciate all that. And certainly, the pizza. I love pizza. We had that the other night, actually. We definitely like the roses. I have to put them in water, I think, these roses. We thank you for the gifts. One of my moderators thanking you for your gifts. Any big ones, folks. I want something that's going to just take over the screen that I've never seen before. I know there's a lot of different types of TikTok things. I don't know what some of the big ones. I've seen the whales, the lights that go across the screen. I've seen something like a bluish object with the whole screen going blue around it. What? I've never seen that before. Trisha, that is phenomenal. I do like hot air balloons. You must be psychic. I love hot air balloons. So we appreciate all the gifts here. We're also hearing called Encounters. It's a late night UFO talk show. We'll stay on to 12:30 a.m. in the morning on this Labor Day weekend in the U.S. If you have any stories to share regarding ET contact, visitations, any sightings, have you been videotaping anything? Diane, thanks for the roses. Blue, thank you for that. Happy weekend. We love that. We'll definitely have you on the program, folks. So if you see little guest icons, press the little people, and we will put you on the air right now on the show, and you can share your stories with us. We'd like to hear your stories, listen to you, and find out what's going on. I'm sure out of 182 people, there are folks that have had some really interesting things going on here. So if you want to go on the show right now, just press the guest icon, and we'll have you on the air. Thank you for the roses. While we're waiting, thank you for all the gifts, the roses, Jennifer. Next weekend, next Saturday night, we're going to reschedule the apple orchard people for next Saturday night. The weather should be good, and we'll be doing it. The moon is now going from full moon to not being a full moon, so it should be less of a full moon by next Saturday. We'll be posting stuff here on TikTok and on our Facebook, creating an event there for the C5 event. And we're waiting for people to share some stories. It's pretty amazing. There's nobody here to share anything. I got to believe there's people out here videotaping UAPs, UFOs, and, are interested in sharing something. I'll know if you're going to share. Tell me what you want to do. Make a comment here that you want to come on live and tell me what you want to talk about. As a matter of fact, I'm going to bring on, if they're still in the room, let me see here. I am going to see who's here. We're just going to see who's here, who might be on here. But we're glad to have people on here. We're still waiting for some guests. This is usually, it's not hard to like pull people in, but now I feel like I'm pulling teeth, you know, pulling a star or a planet to get somebody on here to talk about their story. So if you're a new person here and have a really interesting story to tell about being visited by space people or beings, I'd like to hear your story. Certainly you can come on and join us here on Encounters, the late night talk show. Why are we frozen, kinda? Why are we frozen? You mean technically frozen on the screen here? I'm not sure what you mean. So the commander is looking for some guests here. Any guests who want to come on here with over 1,000 followers? We don't use the word alien. No smoking on here to get anybody in trouble. And certainly no foul language. We want to keep everything clean to the highest level of this show. Welcome, Todd, to Encounters. Deborah, thank you for the likes. As we drink some more water. We're at 42,000. We want to hit over 50,000. Please subscribe. We have 40 of 100. We're now at 40 of 100 subscribers on here. Be number 41, 42, 43, 44, 45 onward. Subscribing is really inexpensive to subscribe to a TikTok thing like this, so please subscribe. And again, I want to thank everybody for the gifts all night tonight. I want to thank you all for seeing it. You see the 40 to 100 up above. Be number 41 and number 42, whoever you are. Hollywood, thanks for joining us. FSH, welcome to the show. Hedge Hammam, High Vibration Franco, Jamie Joy, welcome. You're on Encounters, the late night UFO talk show here on TikTok. I'm your host on radio on Sunday mornings, Pacifica Radio Network, WESUFM.org, Ashtar Command Radio, The Cosmic Eye. Dana, welcome to the show. Stacy, thanks for the likes. Deborah D, thanks for the likes. Scott Hammond, thanks for the likes. Stacy, thanks for liking the live. All the people in here. I'm really surprised, man, that we don't have somebody that wants to come on and talk about their UFO sightings. Excuse me. Thank you, Stacy. Give me a moment. I'm going to get some more water here, folks. I'm almost out. So I'll be right back to answer your questions. I don't have enough followers. You'll get there, Smitty. You're going to get there, my friend. You have 373 followers. Everybody follow Smitty79. I'll be right back. I need some water, and I'll be back here on the show in just a minute. And we are back with a full glass of water, I'll tell you. So we'll be signing off at 12:30 a.m. this morning. We've been on since, I don't know when, I think it was after 10 o'clock this evening. Thank you for all the gifts, all the love here, folks. All the new people here, you now have found a show that is a show. So we're unique on TikTok. We do a show. We don't do debates. We don't play games. We don't have contests. None of that stuff. We're the real deal. So I'm glad you found us here on Encounters. Normally, we're on here 11:30, 11 o'clock in the evening. We are trying to do some daytime stuff in the morning for the daytime people. I came kind of late. Positively me. You haven't missed anything. This show will be on YouTube. The recorded show will be put on YouTube tonight and on Facebook. So don't be bummed out. You'll be able to watch the whole show on my YouTube channel. And that goes for anybody else who just came in here and missed when I started broadcasting. Everything is being recorded, and we'll have it on YouTube so you can watch it. So that's a good thing. I was kind of skeptical of Ashtar for a while, Commander. It's just kind of mysterious, Yeah, because a lot of things on the internet, the stuff about Ashtar on the internet, most of it's garbage. Most of it's disinformation. Before there was internet, I was in touch with the command itself way before the internet. So that's why it's authentic in my sense, because I've had contacts with the space people before the internet existed. And Ashtar, when I knew about Ashtar a number of years ago, that was sort of like when the internet was starting to happen more and more. So, but if you hear anything negative about Ashtar on the internet, most of it's disinformation and it's garbage, And now you're talking to somebody who's with the Ashtar Command, is here on Mission Earth. Now you know what an Ashtar Commander is. There you go, Levick. And so, yeah, So when people ask me about the Ashtar Command, I have to say to them straight out and be who I am. I am with the Ashtar Command. So if you heard the word Ashtar Command, I am part of the Ashtar Command. I'm from Mars. That's where I come from. My consciousness is of Earth, non-Earth, Christ consciousness. I'm just one big cosmic book. The only way I can put it. Commander, I've noticed lately it's been quiet in my skies. It could be quiet before the cosmic storm. You might want to create a new saying. The quietness now is just before everything starts happening. And people can re-watch this show on YouTube, and you'll hear what she said about the fleets of ships, the diamond-shaped craft that were bluish. They changed color. They were over Russia. They were over New York for a couple of seconds, in Manhattan, Mumbai in India, all over the place. All right? But I will be posting that video tonight after I get off here at 12:30. It'll take me a few minutes. I'll be putting that on YouTube and on my Ashtar Command Spaceship News channel here, which is part of my main channel of my profile page. So if anyone has any stories to share regarding UFOs, UAPs, or what I call them spaceships, please press the little guest icon, which is right down there, the little people icon on your TikTok. And if you have over 1,000 followers, I can get you on here. If you don't have 1,000 followers, I'll still answer your questions, or you can share your stories. Blue, I'm back. I'm on the back porch. Maybe they like my Bee Gees song Laugh. Interesting, Blue. Please tell your stories, Cat Mama says. Well, I can tell you my stories. How would you like to hear them? Would the people like to hear my stories? I got plenty of stories to tell. I got plenty of information to share. I'm so used to wanting to hear other people's stories. So here I'm going to tell you about the Ashtar Command. I kind of hedged this for a lot of times. I work within the Ashtar Command. Okay? How many people know and have heard of the Ashtar Command? I'll tell some stories. It might be also information too. Okay, so some people have not heard of it. Okay. So what you have heard of the Ashtar Command, well, yeah, if you got through me, then that's good. Anything you've heard of the Ashtar Command or Galactic Command on the internet is mostly not true. Meaning the disinformation websites, they've been there for years, decades. For as long as the internet's been around, there's been disinformation campaigns. My first encounter was when I was a kid in the 1960s. And again, I clear as day remember the story of a hovering spaceship with windows and men, women, and children wearing a space outfit that was a glittery, like a glitter, not really too glittery, but a shiny suits. They wore sort of like, like they looked like silverish, kind of bluish kind of suits. And they were looking at me through their windows on the ship, just hovering in the cul-de-sac where I used to live as a kid. And that was my first encounter. The ship was metallic. The ship was definitely metallic. It was a saucer-shaped ship with windows that were kind of transparent. They were dark. But they had an energy light or lights blinking in the middle of it. And the people were looking at me and telepathically telling me, I'm not from Earth. You're with us. And I said, I'm standing there looking at them, and they're telling me at night, and there's like a fog or a mist around their ship. They're saying, you're not from here. So at that point, I wasn't afraid. I was excited. I went upstairs after dinner for no reason at all, opened my brother's window, his wood shades, and the ship was hovering there. It was already there when I went up. And there's windows, so I can see that these were humans like us. They weren't monsters with big heads or, whatever, big chins going all different directions, just like us. And they said, the first thing they said to me is, we love you. You're part of our star family. You're not from here. And when I heard that, it resounded with me for many years that I'm not from here. As I got more older, as an adult, I had many more encounters with ships. I call them spaceships, I don't call them UFOs, because what I know is that they are spaceships. So for many years, I had these sightings. Larry, good to have you with us. Good evening, everybody. So telling my story, I had many times these sightings. I had an interest more and more in knowing the truth. And then one night, I realized I was connected with the Ashtar Command at a gathering in New York State of people with what is now my dear friend Ashtar Athena in LA. She was a person that has been a contactee since, for many years. And she and I met and became, very good friends. And she's from Venus. That's where she's from. But she was one of the original Ashtar Command people that I met years ago. And she knew all the contactees at Giant Rock. She knew all of those people that physically were taken on spaceships. And so at that point, I knew who I was. I learned that my name was not who it was. My name was Aleon. I went to their workshop in New York. I got stuck there overnight because of a storm, which wasn't a storm, but a major mothership creating a neon blue light in the fog. There was this misty fog covering everything in this condo complex above us. In the back of the opening of the screen, I see everything is neon blue, and there's like these flashes of blue in the sky. I got stuck overnight, and I couldn't go home until the next day. But you know what? That was the best getting stuck ever. And at that point, I was told, this commander is going to do this. I said, I'm not a commander. I'm just here, recording this on my cassette tape. This is when cassette tapes were the big deal. I'm just recording this on a cassette tape. So I found out later on that everything I believed in, I had an empty system for about a week. All right. Everything I thought I believed in was correct was totally blown away. All my belief systems were questioned within me. I went through a clearing, and then a week later, I actually was who I said I was. They told me, Ashtar Athena said to me, "Commander, you know your name, right?" I said, "My name? Sure." So I knew that my name, I just spouted it out. I said, "My name is Aleon, Aleon, Aleon. That's my name. That's where I come from. The planet I come from is Mars, and my name is Aleon, and I work with the Ashtar Galactic Command." So when I realized who I was, that was it. I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back to being this person that I was before, you know? Now that's a story. I'm telling you a real story. So that my connection to the Ashtar Command here on Earth is that I'm here to do media work. I utilize radio. I utilize social media. I'm very adept to it, and I utilize it to disseminate information. I use this show for people to share their stories. So now I'm sharing my story with you. Okay? We have about 5 minutes left to the show here. Oh, my Twisted Mystic, you're most welcome. So I'm very serious about what I do. I don't play games. I came here, they have me here on a mission to liberate the planet. And by liberating the planet is to wake people up. And how to wake them up? My radio show does it. My workshops do it. This show here does it. It's bringing people together from all walks of life to the point where they realize that they've been lied to on your planet. So many lies that have been done on this planet. You know, for what? So I came here to bust the matrix, to kick the cosmic butt, and to make sure that people get shaken up enough to realize they've been lied to for all these decades. And no more lies. You know, folks, no more lies. Everything happens for a reason. Our contact, Shai, who's with the DOD and the Department of the DOD, she found us. You know, nothing is a coincidence. She found our show. It was meant to happen. And now we have a direct contact within the Department of Defense to leak out information to tell us what's going on. And you're not going to get that anywhere else. And if you think you are, you're not. You're not going to get on the BBC, NBC, any alternative media outlet. They're not going to have this information. They won't. You can go searching all over the place for it. You can go on every single website for it. But understand, most of these websites out there are written by people who are just basic 3D people with their own disinformation fear campaigns. So now you know a little bit. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the Ashtar Galactic Command since you want to hear some of my stories. The Ashtar Galactic Command represents many spiritual worlds way beyond Earth. There's no conflicts. There's no war. There's no galactic war. There are galactic conflicts within the lower vibrational frequencies. Yes, there are in those cases. Where the Ashtar Galactic Command comes from, it's like a united galactic nation of many planetary worlds of light. And I use the word light because that's what it is. Many of these space people, star people, come from other planetary worlds. They look just like us. Some might not completely look like us, but most do. And they live in an harmonious relationship with the Creator. All the planets do, in that higher frequency and understanding. So the Ashtar Galactic Command are basically guardians of the light. And they are. They're guardians of the light. What does that mean? That means they're here to bring light where there is this distrust, where there is misinformation, where people are living in a place on a planet where things are not right. So they're guardians of light. When the Ashtar Galactic Command came to Earth, they came here as guardians of light. And what that means is they're here to assist humanity. We're here to assist humanity, guardians of light. Now you know a little bit more. And we're coming up to about a few minutes before 12:30 a.m. We're going to do a final gifting here. Go to my Venmo. My Venmo is on CmdrAleon 2022 on my main profile page. There's a link to the Venmo. Please press the link. Make a donation tonight on my Venmo. So if you've got Venmo as an app on your computer, that's my Cash App. Go to the Venmo and make whatever pledge before I go off the air tonight here on the radio, on the TV show. I keep thinking about radio. All right, folks, I want to say I love you. If there's any last minute, donations that you want to do, any gifting, show me some gifts here to make the night good. Do the Venmo, become a subscriber. If you're never subscribed, we have 40 now. We're trying to get to 100. There's multiple opportunities here to support the show in whatever way you feel comfortable. All right? So before we go, we're going to do just a little quietness here for a minute. I want to ask anyone out there to please send me a lit up gift that's going to take over the screen. I'd love to see the whale. The whale is a beautiful one. So if somebody has a whale, the one that goes all through the screen, I'd love to see that. Any other fish kind of stuff, stingrays or whatever you got out there, ocean stuff under the water. Let's show some love here. I appreciate everybody here. Jennifer, thank you. Oh, we got some bears coming our way. That's good. We love the bears. So this is going to be the last battle of gifting on Encounters. This is the last. Nice to meet you too, Kathy. We're going to follow you a little bit here. You have 297 and you have 298 followers. So we're going to see who's going to be the battle of gifters here. We're going to see who's going to give the biggest gifts or the biggest looking gifts on the screen here. So now it's going to start 1, 2, 3. Battle of the gifts. Let's get it going, folks. For Encounters, CmdrAleon, the Cosmic Eye radio show is something I'll be doing tomorrow at 11:30. So tune in there. So we're going to stand here. Not stand here. We're going to sit here for a minute. Shelly Starr just gave us a blue. Something that's blue, I'm blue. And let's see what other crazy gifts are out there. I've seen the gifts on TikTok. Let's see what other crazy gifts can be on the screen here. If you've not given a gift and you can, please just jump right in and do it. Oh. It's been a long night, folks. So, yeah. So we're waiting for one major thing. I'll stay on for one more minute. And I'll show you my crystal that has all the things going on in it. If you want to see the crystal, the one that has all kinds of things happening in it, somebody or someone or somebody's do something, a galaxy, whatever, and I'll show you this one crystal that has people's eyes dropping, jaws dropping. Honey McReynolds did it. Anyone else? I'm going to show you. This is the crystal. There's a lot going on here, folks. You can see a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, Shelly, we're going to give you a minute to resubscribe. I'm just going to move this back so you can see stuff here. And tell me what you see. Oh, I see. There's something new here I didn't see before. You see the human head? There's a face there. It looks like a human face. I wish I can do this here a little better here. Ah, Shelly, thanks for resubscribing. We appreciate that. You see the face in here? You should see a face. There was a face in there. Yeah, this face still in there. And let me see here. This is interesting. You see the landscape? You can see it right here. You see there's like a mountain. You see the mountain in here? You can see the landscape in here. Okay. So I want to thank everybody for being here. We'll take one more final big gift. Who's going to be that one person of 153 people who has a lot of TikTok coins and has not done anything yet? Throw some love our way for the show, and then we're going to call it a night, folks. And we're going to get that video on, too. We're going to go work on that video. One more big gift. Kit Kat just resubscribed. Thank you, Kit Kat. We appreciate that so much. We love you for doing that. We love everybody for contributing to the show in whatever way you can, you know. That's what it takes. So we're waiting for one more final big screen gift that's going to just blow up the screen like bluish colors and all kinds of crazy stuff. I have patience. That's because I come from Mars. So I do have a feeling someone's just waiting for me to say something to do it. I'll show you this crystal here while we're waiting for one more gift. Check this out. All right. I want to thank you all for being here. Yeah, Moldavite. Yeah, Moldavite's pretty cool. I used to have some Moldavite years ago. Now Moldavite's very expensive because it's rare. You can't find it. Well, you can find it, but you're gonna pay money for it. Are you saying yes? I'm saying gifts. So on TikTok, Denise, they have a section for gifting people. If you go to your gift section, you have any TikTok coins, you can show me a gift right now and just gift it on the screen. It'll show up. Friends with fairies, it's my pleasure always. Hope everything's going well in Vermont. So we're going to sign out of here. I guess we're getting no more, big gifts tonight. So it's I want to thank everybody for being here, and we'll be rebroadcasting this show on our YouTube channel and on. Oh, my kitty, my kitty. So we're going to take care of our little kitty. You want to see me? She doesn't want to go on the screen. You want to go on the screen? I don't think so. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a beautiful night. Have a good weekend.